You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 23rd day of January, 2026. Thanks for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. The first broadcast is our live training room, so that broadcast is reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you've not taken your 1-week free trial, when Michael joins us in about an hour, he'll walk you through step by step how to take the trial. It'll take about 3 minutes of your time today. We'll get your indicators up and indicating today, so you'll have the weekend to get familiar with the indicators, and then your trial will officially start Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's when we open for business. That's when the Globex markets open, and your trial will run all the way through next Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, when the futures market closes. Now, there's no credit card required. We want you focused on what's being taught so that at the end of the trial, you can make a well-informed, intelligent decision as to whether or not trading is right for you. Now, when you take the trial, you do get access to the live training room, but that's just 2 hours out of the day. We work literally around the clock, from Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern to Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. So when you're on the trial, you'll have access to everything we do. We treat you just like you are already a member for 5 consecutive trading days with access to everything, with just one exception, and that's the members only workshop on Thursday night. Because again, at the end of your trial, we want you to be able to make a well-informed, intelligent decision whether or not trading is right for you. So be sure and stick around. Michael will walk you through that at the top of the hour. Now, when the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the noon broadcast, which, unlike the morning broadcast, this one's open to the public. Everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There's 2 different ways to join this afternoon broadcast live. The best way, you only have to do it once. Go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down the page to where it says Noon Broadcast. Click the link, fill out the 30-second registration form, and you're done. What will happen going forward is every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts. In the email, there's a link, so at 12 noon Eastern, just click the link in the email, and it'll automatically log you into our platform. The benefit there is you'll have access to the question box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Now, there will be days you're out of the office, away from your desktop, but you still want to join live. And some days you'll be busy, so you can't join live, but you do want to get caught up later. You can do both of those via our YouTube channel, which is easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. That's the Christian Financial Radio Network since 2005. 21 years. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, simulcasting, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,900 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. Now, thanks to the power of YouTube, you can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Obviously, you're not going to watch them all, nor do you need to. But it is a great resource to have at your fingertips, especially if you're new to our neck of the woods, because it allows you to literally see how we've evolved over the years, day by day by day. youtube.com/CFRN. On the left side of the screen is the schedule for each afternoon broadcast. And as I said, Michael will join us in about an hour here at the top of the hour for a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room, then a little live trading on the TradingView platform. But for now, we'll start where we always do, with our daily devotional. The topic that we're on right now is the power of God's blessing. And this will be our last day on this topic. We'll begin a new topic on Monday. Today's scripture, John 20:19, from the ESV translation. On the evening of that day, the first day of the week, the doors being locked where the disciples were for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood among them and said to them, "Peace be with you." Disturbed and distraught because of Jesus' death and burial, his disciples had withdrawn behind closed doors. Suddenly, Jesus stood among them. The disciples could hardly believe their eyes. Jesus greeted them with the customary Jewish greeting, Shalom, which means peace be with you. It is still a customary greeting today in Israel. When Jesus uses it here, it takes on a deeper meaning. With this greeting, Jesus expresses more than just a wish. The word shalom means peace. Not only peace in the sense of absence of war or mutual strife. Shalom is also inner peace and wholeness that God gives through His presence in our life. Wholeness in the sense of freedom from unrest and doubt. A peace that we as human beings also want for each other and pray for. But only God can give that peace. Through Jesus' death and resurrection, that peace is possible for everyone who believes in Him. Our hearts can often be full of unrest, uncertainty, and doubt. Jesus comes to meet us with His peace. And filled with that peace, we receive the strength to be a blessing to others. Shalom. Read Jesus' blessing for you and make it visible on your phone or your fridge, for example, anywhere you might see it, so that you see those words every day. In John 14:27, we read, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." Again, that's John 14:27. Let's pray. Lord Jesus, when fear filled the room, you came and spoke peace to the disciples. We ask you, Lord, to step into our anxious places today and quiet our hearts with your presence. Let your words, "Peace be with you," settle deeply into our souls and guide us through every uncertainty. And today, Lord, especially we lift up to you all who are sick with this severe flu. We pray that you would bring healing to their bodies, comfort to their hearts, and strength to those who are caring for them. Let your peace replace their fear, and your presence bring hope in the midst of weakness. We also pray for everyone in the path of this powerful snowstorm. Protect families, travelers, first responders, and those who don't even have shelter, God. Provide warmth, safety, and calm amidst the storm. Guide leaders and neighbors to care for one another with wisdom and compassion. We pray, God, that you would be our refuge and our strength today and in every trial we face. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Amen, and happy Friday. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. We'll start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Then we'll go to the news, and then we'll get to the charts. Currently, the Dow is down 230 points. The NASDAQ is up 122. The S&P 500 is up 10, and the Russell 2000 is down 34. And that's the only mover or shaker in the indices. The Russell down 34 points. That's well over 1.25%. And in the commodity basket, crude oil is up $1.67, trading 61.03 last. That's a gain of almost 3%. Gold is up $70.30, make that 40 cents. Trading 49.8380 last. That's a gain of 1.5%. Silver up $4.59, trading $100.99 last. That's a gain of over 4.75%. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 157 points. Shanghai rose 13. The Hang Seng gained 119. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down 6. The DAX up 44. The CAC down 5. So we had a green day in Asia. It was a mixed day for the UK. And it's a mixed Radio Friday here in the US of A. We got two of the major indices in the green, NASDAQ and the S&P, and two in the red, the Dow and the Russell. Again, the only mover and shaker there is the Russell, which is deeply down 36 points. That's a lot for the Russell. It's approaching 1.5%. And while you don't want to try to build a trading strategy around this, quite often the Russell can lead the rest of the pack. That's not a forecast. It's just an observation. Turning to the news, about half the U.S. population is in the path of a winter storm starting today in Texas and reaching the Northeast by Sunday. A potentially record-breaking cold snap is forecast to follow, with frigid temperatures lingering into next week for millions of Americans. Meteorologists warn damage could rival that of a hurricane, with heavy ice threatening power lines as people contend with sub-freezing temperatures. Texas Governor Greg Abbott was among several governors to proactively declare emergencies yesterday. A Texas power grid failure during a 2021 winter storm caused over 200 deaths. Parts of Oklahoma could see over a foot of snow as the system brings ice and sleet to Jackson, Mississippi, which has no city-owned snowplows. Meanwhile, wind chills could plunge as low as minus 35 degrees in Chicago and Des Moines, Iowa, prompting school closures. And, for those that trade futures, you know that the hub of the futures world is in Chicago, whereas the hub of the stock trading world is in New York City. We could potentially see some market closures next week. I'm sure they have generators and backup generators, but it requires a whole lot of electricity to run those exchanges. So we'll just have to pray, be patient, stay warm, and see what happens. A shift in the polar vortex, fueled by relatively warmer Arctic temperatures, is colliding with moisture from off California and the U.S. southern coast to create these southern severe conditions. President Trump is suing JP Chase and its CEO, Jamie Dimon, for at least $5 billion in damages. He accused the bank of illegally terminating his accounts for political reasons. In February 2021, Trump said he was notified that several of his personal and professional accounts would be closed 2 months later. Trump also accused Dimon of placing his name and businesses on a financial blacklist, resulting in reputational harm. Trump accused the bank of taking these steps for political purposes. The decision would have come weeks after the January 6th storming of the U.S. Capitol. JP Chase maintains it does not close accounts for political reasons. Trump issued an executive order in August aimed at directing regulators to target debanking. In December, a government report found 9 banks restricted services for exposure to reputational harm, including companies in the oil and gas and adult entertainment industries. And you can't make this up, but leave it to Hollywood. They have. Nominations for the 98th Academy Awards were announced yesterday, led by Sinners, with a record-breaking 16 nods. Now, any of you that have ever read your Bible, you've heard of a little place called Sodom and Gomorrah. Things got pretty nasty there. And while, there's been much said about Hollywood and the types of movies that they make over the years, it just really jumped out at me that a movie called Sinners got a record-breaking 16 nods as a nomination. It's a 1930s set vampire epic which grossed $368 million globally and is followed by one battle after another with 13 nominations. They join a Best Picture lineup that includes Frankenstein, Bugonia, Hamnet, Marty Supreme. That's the movie that Mr. Wonderful's in. I couldn't remember it yesterday. Marty Supreme. Sentimental Value, Train, Dreams, F1, and The Secret Agent. Warner Brothers led with 30 nominations, with indie studio Neon and Netflix next with 18 each. Best Actor contenders include 30-year-old Timothée Chalamet, Marty Supreme, one of the youngest men to have received 3 acting nominations, while Best Actress nominees include 37-year-old Emma Stone, the youngest woman with 7. Steven Spielberg earned a record 14th Best Picture nomination as an individual producer. This year also marks the first recognition of casting directors. The big event will air March 15th on ABC and Hulu, with Conan O'Brien hosting for the second time. And of course, if you want to see all the nominations, and there's a ton of them, you can just Google it up. We talked yesterday about Intel and how a big hit or a big miss could really impact the markets. Well, the earnings actually look pretty good to me, but Intel's down 16% today. Intel stock fell 16% today after its first, and it's still down 16%, after its first quarter financial outlook fell short of Wall Street's expectations, and after executives said the company struggled to keep up with demand for chips used in AI data centers. I drove by an AI data center here in Phoenix yesterday, and that thing is humongous. I mean, maybe the size of a football field, and maybe 5 or 6 stories high. I mean, there's no windows. You don't need windows, obviously. The chip maker, Intel, said it expects first quarter revenue of $12.2 billion at the midpoint of its range and below the $12.6 billion projected by Wall Street analysts, tracked by Bloomberg. Intel guided for earnings per share of 0 for the period, short of the estimated 8 cents. And Intel is down $9 a share, 16%. Well, it looks like you won't have to wait much longer for a humanoid robot of your own from Tesla. CEO Elon Musk, speaking on stage at the World Economic Forum yesterday, said the rollout for his Optimus robots could start as soon as the end of next year. Tesla branded help to tidy your home or watch your children could be just around the corner. Can you imagine going to the store are going anywhere and leaving a robot to care for your children. Now, 20, 30 years from now, it may just be, a normal part of life. But I don't know. I think we're seeing the future a lot sooner than we thought we might have. The entrepreneur and showman didn't stop there. Tesla's robotaxi service will be widespread in the U.S. by the end of the year, he said, offering up the second major forecast for his company that's aggressively pursuing a leadership position in AI and robotics. The presentation prompted 3 questions for investors. Why is this such a pivotal time for Tesla? That's number 1. In some ways, Musk's updates on his company's biggest initiatives arrived in the nick of time. Tesla's most vocal backers like to emphasize that the company's valuation and its importance in the tech landscape aren't based on the cars it makes today, but the innovations it's promising in the near future. I've said for years that people don't invest in Tesla. They may buy Tesla shares, but they're investing in Elon Musk. Depending on where you land on Tesla, there's a convenient tale to tell or an insight into the company's true value, and maybe a bit of both. But as a car company not yet fully transformed into an AI powerhouse, Tesla is staring at an enormous threat in China. In fact, so are a lot of Western car manufacturers. Last week, Canada said it would ease tariffs on Chinese EVs as part of a new strategic partnership between the two nations, inspired by Trump's aggressive rhetoric and antagonistic trade policy with its northern neighbor. Demand for Chinese EVs has surged in recent years, surpassing expectations and introducing genuine threats in Western markets. Legacy auto players had long dismissed car brands from China, and I don't see it as that big a problem. But the competition has arrived. We'll see what happens from here. Tesla's down 49 cents on the day. From Bloomberg, TikTok and its Chinese parent ByteDance have closed a long-awaited deal to transfer parts of their U.S. operations to American investors, securing the popular video app's future in the U.S. and avoiding a nationwide ban. The social media company has officially established a U.S. entity with 3 managing investors: Oracle Corp, private equity firm Silver Lake, and Abu Dhabi-based investment company MGX. TikTok's chief executive officer, who will continue running ByteDance's most valuable asset globally, gets a seat on the board. Adam Presser, who was TikTok's head of operations, trust, and safety, will now helm the American venture as CEO. This has been dragging out for years. Don't know that I agree with it, but hey, I don't make the news, I just share it with you. It's time to wager that President Trump makes it more affordable to live in the U.S. That's the big word now, affordability. Or so advises J.P. Morgan strategists, who are being sued by Trump for $5 billion. A shift in policy making towards affordability has favored value-oriented themes as the administration positions itself ahead of the November midterm elections. That's according to a J.P. Morgan strategist. He reiterated a bullish call on low-end consumer-sensitive stocks, citing the one big beautiful bill, fiscal spending, tax cuts, beginning of year seasonals, also called bottom fishing, lower gasoline prices, lowest in about 5 years, and increasing policy attention on affordability, housing, consumer finance. Some of the stocks most heavily tied to this bullish thesis include Southwest Airlines, which interestingly trades under the symbol LUV, love, Dutch Brothers, Walmart, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Citigroup, and Chime Financial. All of these stocks have outperformed the benchmark S&P 500 in 2026, except for Dutch Brothers and Citigroup, according to Yahoo Finance data. It's a possible sign that investors are gearing up for earnings upside in the second and third quarters as a result of affordability-related catalyst. The Trump administration has made affordability a top focus to start 2026. Last year, it was border security. The border's secure. The war isn't over, but at least the border's secure. So this year, he's going to make affordability the big issue. Trump has signed an executive order that directs his administration to work to ban large institutional investors from buying single-family homes. We warned about this on this program years ago. We warned, and now here it is. And it's here in such force, the president's actually trying to do something about it. The president doubled down on his effort in a speech at the World Economic Forum in Davos this week. It's unclear on when this could be written into law. Meanwhile, Trump earlier this month said interest rates on credit cards should be limited to 10% for 1 year from January 20th. But JP Morgan said that will just tank the whole economy. Who are you going to believe? The dominating topic this year in Davos was, of course, AI. From medical device makers to bankers to tech executives, artificial intelligence was the hot topic among the global elite gathered in the Swiss Alps. And while the promise of robots and AI's future was certainly top of mind, the biggest discussions revolved around the technology's potential impact on the broader labor market. BlackRock CEO and interim co-chair of the World Economic Forum, Larry Fink, referenced the danger of job losses caused by AI during his discussion with NVIDIA's CEO, while JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon said plans need to be put in place for potential government intervention to prevent companies from enacting mass AI-driven layoffs. That's a dicey one. It's been a week of geopolitical uncertainty and policy whiplash. Stocks and bonds regained ground. Remember Sunday night we had that massive gap lower open, and then we ran up for a few days. Today we're mixed. The US dollar sank and gold is set for its best week since 2020. While President Trump backed down from his recent tariff threat, sending stocks on a sharp rebound, investors are reckoning with the unpredictability of the White House means of achieving its policy goals and shifts in the outlook for the global economic order. So with that, let's go look at Logic 247. It's our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini alert service. Not just the E-minis, but also crude, gold, and silver. We're currently in week 390. Over the last 390 weeks, we've issued over 21,400 individual handcrafted alerts. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on simple market structure and the simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Now, Valerie did the recap this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. She will update it and finalize it for the week this afternoon or early evening, at the latest tomorrow morning. At the time of the recap, since the markets opened Monday night, remember Monday was a holiday, so we only had a 4-day week this week. We issued a total of 41 logic alerts. Don't confuse those with the CTAs, that's a different animal. At the time she did the recap, we were still waiting on the outcome of 8. So some of those very well may have changed since then. But as I say, she'll update it this afternoon. That gave us 33 actionable alerts, of which 5 or 15% would have been stopped out. Again, based on simple market structure and the simple process we teach all of our passport holders. The purpose of the logic alerts is to help you learn how to read a chart. If you're going to trade for a living, it's real important to know where to anticipate potential resistance, where to anticipate potential support. In doing so, you reveal the windows of opportunity between those 2 points where you will find your best high probability, low risk trade opportunities. So if you never actually trade a logic alert, I highly encourage you, use them to learn to read the chart. Now, a chart, of course, has no words, sentences, paragraphs, or punctuation. It's a completely different language, nonverbal, if you will. But you need to learn to read it like you read a newspaper or a good mystery novel. It takes a little time, but if you show up and do the work, you can learn it. Okay? Now, the logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session, and vice versa. 390 weeks is a long time, over 7 years, but quite a few years before Logic 247. We had our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts. Now, they're different in a lot of different ways. A lot. But for the purpose of this discussion, I'll simply say they don't come out around the clock like the logic alerts. They're published as a static report shortly before the Globex Open each evening. So this Friday session that we're in right now began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. So all of our traders and even trial members had all of these targets 5 minutes before the market opened. The S&P 500, the Dow, the Russell, crude oil, the NQ, gold, and silver. So as we go through the individual markets and you see these targets drawn out on the individual charts, just remember all of our members had the targets 5 minutes before the market opened. So now we can actually go to the chart, and we'll start where we always do with the S&P 500 E-mini futures, the bellwether. Now at the close yesterday, I'll be honest, I was looking for a move to the downside. Well, that's not what happened. And that's what we've learned over 7 years and over 21,400 logic alerts is that 20% of the time or less, the market is going to do almost the complete opposite of what we anticipate. We don't waste any time or money chasing a holy grail to figure out why that happened and how to make sure it never happens again, because that's just not possible. So here's the all-time historic high intraday. Here's the all-time historic closing high. From that all-time historic high, we came down. Let me point out over here, okay? You see the little wick sticking up there and the wick sticking down there? I drew in this horizontal line when price was up here. And I said that's a great area for the market to find support. And it did. We got the same situation here. I waited until the workshop last night to draw that in, okay? Because I wanted to reinforce that this is basically the same as this. If I move it, you can see that little tiny wick right below that candle, okay? And you just put your crosshair right in the middle, like that. And that gives you a really good idea of where you're going to find support. Worked out real well here. Worked out real well here. Now, I'm still not convinced that this isn't a head fake. Yesterday, we ran up just shy of the 50% fib extension. We failed to put in a higher high today so far. We are headed into the weekend. But we're on top of the BBC. That's the green line. Now, price always reverts to the mean. In other words, price always pulls back to the BBC. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and expect higher prices. When it crosses below the green line, we're bearish and expect lower prices. Higher prices, lower prices, higher prices, lower prices. It's pretty simple. Yesterday, we did close the gap from Sunday night. Finally. That's unusual. Typically on Sunday night when we have a gap, it closes within the first couple of hours. Sometimes it takes the whole session, and sometimes it can take a few days. We've had a couple of instances here of late where it's taken longer than normal. So this wick sticking up and this wick sticking up, to me, I see that as bearish, okay? And as you can see, that little green body is shrinking. So we could rally into the close. If we do, just keep in mind that today's high, right here, 69.64, that's today's high. That's potential resistance. And then yesterday, 69.69. And then the 50% fib extensions at 69.73. And then right here, where blue turned to red, that's potential resistance, 69.91/92. Then this high right here, 7,007. Then the 62% fib extension, then the all-time historic high. But if we sell off going into the close today, the black step line is directly below price, okay? Now, we're sitting on top of the BBC. That's potential support. Right below that's red and falling. When that gets directly below price, that's potential support. Then you got the 38% fib extension. That's potential support. Then you got the black step line. That's potential support. So we got a lot of layers of resistance overhead and a lot of layers of support below. If we trade below this black step line, then our next major area for support will be at the 24% fib extension, and then the low put in on January 21st. So we spiked that area by just a little bit. Look how quickly we reversed for 2 days. But now as we head into the weekend, institutional traders, the ones who actually move price, are having to weigh, are they willing to carry this home over the weekend? Yesterday, we had a bullish day all the way up to that 50% fib extension, just shy of it, but then sold off into the close. And I mean, if you see the body of this daily candle turn red, watch this black step line real close. It's currently at 69.09. If we get below 69.09, we could see this number right here, 68.67. It could happen quick. Again, I'm not predicting it. Just letting you know what it looks like, whatever price does. And that's the beauty of learning how to read the chart. You don't have to guess if price is going up or if price is going down. You simply map out your trading strategy if price goes up and if price goes down. Okay? And then all you got to do is sit back and be patient and wait for price to either trigger your window of opportunity on the long side or drop and trigger your window of opportunity on the short side. Now, once you learn to do that, are you going to be right all the time? Nope. Hard as we've tried. Over 21,400 alerts over 7 years. Best we've been able to do is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out. We almost have no green at all. Ah, boy, that's really looking dicey. Now, some traders are looking at this and going, okay, we're just pulling back so we can get a running start and take off again. That's one school of thought. But you see these wicks sticking up here that led to this move down? We're seeing the same kind of setup here. So either way, how we close today is going to make for an interesting Sunday night open. Now, all the alerts are created on the 30-minute chart. The logic alerts and the concierge trade alerts. These are the ones I said you'll see them drawn on the screen, the CTAs, that list I just showed you. Remember, our traders had these 5 minutes before the market opened last night. The vertical line separates today, Friday. Here's Thursday. Back over here is Wednesday. The horizontal lines are the weekly trading zones. We've published the zones every Monday for over 16 years for our members. Once they're published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. When price rises to a weekly zone, we expect resistance till proven otherwise. When price drops to a weekly zone, we expect support till proven otherwise. The pullback to the BBC holds more often than not, but eventually it will trade through. We did trade through this zone and we hit the short target to the tick. Right there. And that was simply based off that low right there from yesterday. Support always sends the market looking for resistance. The pullback held. So now you see how red and falling got directly below price and became support. The reason that happens is because it's usually on its way to becoming blue and climbing. Red and falling is bearish. Blue and climbing is bullish. So off we go. This was the 9:30 opening candle on Wall Street. We ran right up to the long target again, okay, and the zone, but we were not able to take out yesterday's high. That's a sign of weakness. We've now come all the way back down to the zone at 69.38/39. When price drops to a zone, we expect support. So we're getting the bounce we would expect. Is it enough to turn the market around? I don't know. If we trade through the zone, look for potential support right here, where red turned to blue about 69.31. And then, of course, here. And then if we get below that, here and here. On the Dow, here's where we opened last night. Ran up to the zone, consolidated. When price encounters a weekly trading zone, only one of three things happens. 70% of the times consolidation, 20% of the times rejection, 10% of the time the slice. That's when a 30-minute candle slices through a zone like it's not even there. So we hit the zone, we consolidated overnight, and then here's the London Open. We got red and falling overhead, we're below the BBC, and we come right down to the short target to the tick, based simply off market structure. Support gives us a little bounce, and then we continue dropping to the next zone. Now these are the zones that were published Tuesday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Remember, Monday was a holiday. Typically, the zones are published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Still got one more zone below, way down here. There's an awful lot of areas for the market to find support on the way down. If we take out this low, right here. First spot would be right here. The Russell, here's where we opened last night. We just consolidated sideways on the BBC. Then we got below the BBC, blue and climbing, turned to red and falling, took us right down to the short target. We consolidated, continued down, hit the next zone, consolidated, and then we sliced through this zone, and now we found support. Remember, the Russell was the one that was the deepest in the red and that I said could potentially be leading the other indices to the downside. That's a pretty bearish picture. Now we've still got this zone and this zone, okay, as potential support. Oh, the NQ gap lower open because of the Intel earnings, but in the first 30-minute candle, we hit the short target. It's enough to get your goal for the day. Support always sends the market looking for resistance, which it found at the long target. Resistance sends the market looking for support, which it found here at the weekly zone. Support bounced us up to resistance, which sent us back down to support, which sent us looking for resistance, which we found at the weekly zone, published Tuesday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Now, I do the zone work Sunday night, but on a Monday holiday, I don't publish them until Tuesday morning at 6:15. So now we've got a retracement back to the BBC. Here's the question: will the pullback hold or not? If this pullback doesn't hold, you got a bullish cross right there and a zone. So that's support times 2 in that area. Before I would be getting on the short side, I'd like to see price get down to about 25,620. And I'd be quick to take 10 points at $20 a point, because then you're going to run into this support here, which has been tested multiple times. Not that we can't break through it. Remember, if the institutional traders decide not to carry this weight home over the weekend, in fact, speaking of weight, we've only traded 728,000 contracts today. Yesterday, we traded 1.2 million, and the day before, we traded, come on, 2.1 million. So we got very light volume today. Prices dropping on light volume. That sends mixed signals to different people based upon their trading strategy. Crude oil. Here's the open last night. We're above the BBC. We consolidate at the zone. We get a leg and a retracement to pull back holes. A leg and a retracement, pull back holes. Then we get a leg right up to the long target. Takes us through the target. We consolidate at the zone. But now you see the black step line. On the way up, it was on the left side of blue and climbing. Now that it's crossed to the right side, and blue and climbing is directly above price, what we would typically expect is a retracement back to the BBC. Keep in mind, these are anything but normal market conditions for many reasons. Gold. This was the opening candle last night, and in the first 30-minute candle, we hit the long target, backed up, and in the second 30-minute candle, hit it again. This candle opened at 49.40, so it ran up 20 points, $2,000 per contract traded. Consolidated there. Then we dropped below the BBC. We found support here. Now, I would have expected potential support right here, okay? See where the step line had crossed, okay? But we spiked that area. Remember, even when you learn to read the charts, market's not always going to do what you think it's going to do. And you can scratch your head all you want. You just got to accept it, okay? The market does what the market's going to do. And there's too many factors, too many traders, too many variables for any kind of AI, algorithm, whatever, to read the minds of every trader in the marketplace and know what their next move is going to be. We have price retracing back to the BBC. So we hit the long target, multiple times. And again here, on this pullback, the top could be potential support. Is that you, Michael?
That is me.
All righty, Michael's going to give us a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room, and then do a little live trading as time and the markets permit. Then I'll come back, wrap up the recap, and close things out with our good word for the day.
All right. Excellent. You should be looking at my stuff right now.
Yep, looks good.
All right, here we go. Excuse me. Take a little drink first. Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, the 23rd day of January, 2026. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com. Click on the purple button right there. There is no credit card required for this trial. Click on that purple button and it will bring you to this registration page. All right. On this page, all that asks for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down here at the bottom, be sure to give us your TradingView login ID so we can get your indicators indicating on your desktop. Now, if you sign up for the trial now, you get it all through next week. Okay. I've been saying this for a few days now. Anyone that signed up for the trial this week gets it this week and next week. We did have a few people sign up for it, but I'm not sure where they were. They didn't ask any questions all week. Well, in the 3 days I was there. Anyway, that's how you take the free trial. Okay, so we had a pretty good day today. And look, I think I set this up so it goes right to the right place now. Click on that one. Loads up and brings me right down to the bottom. Look at there. All right, so if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you have to read all the CFTC risk disclosures at the bottom. Today is the 23rd day of January 2026, as I said already. We're up 75 ticks on the NQ. That was not the high of the day on the NQ. The high of the day on the NQ was 101 ticks. I thought it was 111, but it was only 101. 101 ticks, 26 on the YM, that was the high of the day, 63 on gold, that was the high of the day, and 13 on the ES, which was also the high of the day. So we only finished off the high of the day on the NQ. That put us at $1,297 per contract on the morning session, and today it took 7 minutes and 5 trades to get to $1,800 with 10 contracts on, or 180 with 1 contract, which would total of 38 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're having a pretty good start of the year, 15,567. And why did we start last year? 32,000 in January last year. Okay, well, that was a little different. Last year was Trump became president, so it was a little more volatility and stuff. Our best month last year was April, so we're on par to do probably pretty close to what we did in February last year, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the rest of the month goes. We have 5 business days left, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Could have some really good days. Who knows? Either way, the 24/20 blueprint, well, the annual and the monthly are the same right now. So on the month, we're at 15,557, averaging 1,197. And if you were to quit trading after you get your goal for the day so far this year, you would have only had to trade 1.23 hours. And you would be up $1,842 with 1 contract. If you quit trading when you got the goal for the day and did everything exactly like I did in the 13 business days that I've traded so far. That's an average of $1,493 per hour. Okay, $1,493 per hour. So let's see. That's that. Let's get into the trades. It looks like I am way ahead of schedule normally. Normally at this point we're 7 minutes further in, so this is good. We might be able to get some more trades off today. We only had 8 minutes yesterday, so hopefully we'll make up for that today. Let's get into that. We didn't have a ton of trades today, so I don't have a lot to go over here. That's good news. All right, here we are. Let's click over here, bring it into view. Gold, our first trade was a break even. Then our next 4 trades, we went from break even to a plus 14. That's where we got the goal for the day, I think. There. Then we that's 14. Then we went 1 more tick to 15. Then we stopped out, went down to 0. And went from 14 to 15, then down to 0, and then we got 11 there, got us to plus 11. Then went from 11 to 12, 12 to 13, 13 to 28, 28 to 33, 33 to 34, 34 to 35, 35 to 55, 55 to 58, 58 to 60, 60 to 62, and there was one more we got to 63 somewhere. And that's where we ended it on gold. Let's see, during the break, there's anything jumping out at me? One there. One there. One there. 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 That's not one. I don't really have anything on the short side here. Well, right here. That's the second one on the short side. All the other ones were bullish. Oh, wow. We had this big move down right here. I didn't notice that. Well, I'm not going to go through every trade because I want to have some time to trade today. So that was it. We had this huge move down. This is about a 50% retracement of the huge move down right now. If it's going to find resistance, it should find it right about here and push back down if that's what it's going to do. I don't know if it will or will not, but just trade what's in front of you, always. All right, let me scroll all the way back here. Here we are. You know what I don't have out is the question box. If anybody's asked any questions, it'll be unusual. And nobody has asked a single question. All right. So the YM, we ended at the high of the day on the YM today. The first trade we had was 1 tick. We didn't have a lot of YM trades, just a few. Then the next trade we had was 10 ticks to get us to 11. Then the next trade was 15 ticks to get us to 26, and that was it on the YM. Okay, so we'll go back here. During the break, it looks like there wasn't really much on the YM during the break either. Just missing trades in there. That is it on that. Now the ES, we did end at the high of the day on the ES. Oops, at 106, man, we are cruising through this today. Okay, so the ES, we had a break even there. Then we picked up 4, break even, then we got 4, then another break even, then another 4 got us to 8. Then from 8 to 9, 9 to 11, and somewhere else we went from 11 to 13. And that was it on the ES for us. Now during the break, not much going on there during the break. Okay, that was the ES. Now the NQ was the one that we did the most trading on. Actually, no, gold was one that did the most trading on, but the NQ was second. Just go back to the beginning of all time here on the NQ. Yeah, I want to show you guys something else here once I'm done with this. So let me just get all the way through this. And you guys who are in here right now where you're not there in the morning session, and do you use NinjaTrader? Type a response to that in the question box. Okay, so the NQ, our first trade on the NQ was over here. We picked up 4 ticks on that one. Then we had another. Some things missing in here. We had 4 ticks on that one. Then we had another one that was 4 ticks that got us to 8. And then we had a 45 tick that got us to 53. And then we stopped out, and that brought us down to 28. And then went up to 32 there. That was a mistake. Then we had another 45 tick there that got us up to 77. We stopped out again, down to 52. Then we went up to 97, so it was another 45 tick trade there, up to 97. Then went to 101, 4 tick trade. Then from 101, I didn't write that one in, and I did write that one in. So I just showed we stopped out after 101 down to 76. Then we went up to 92. Then this was a mistake right here. And from 92, that brought us down to 70. I show 75, but I don't know why I show that 75, 92 minus 25. It's, well, that area. Anyway, from 75, we went to 71. That doesn't make sense either. We went down 1. Went down 4. I think we should have gone up 4. We should have gone from 75 to 79. Well, what did I do there? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It makes more sense now. On the stop out here, we went from 92 down to 67, right? Down from 67 to 71, then 71 to 74. 75, sorry. Right, I was reading it in the wrong order. That makes sense. Okay, and then, I'm sure there were trades here during the break, but I'm not going to get into them individually. Now, I did something this morning that I'm going to show you is in Telegram, out on the Telegram Ninja 8 discussion group. Okay. This has come to life recently. The NinjaTrader stuff that we've done. Now, this button panel that we have here, you can watch this video about it. And in here, I show you how to do all this stuff in the video, how to go to Telegram and get these 2 files. You download these 2 files and just watch the video. Basically, you download those 2 files and what it does is it loads up the button panel, and then you can use the button panel. I actually go through this, how to do it all in this video. So go check out that video if you want. Shane had contributed this, and David had contributed the actual button panel. So go check that out. All right, these are the things here you need to download. Watch the video. It walks you through the whole thing. Even shows you how to use it and set it up. Okay. So it's worth doing. If you use NinjaTrader, it's worth doing. Okay. And I don't use Ninja, but I know a lot of you guys out there still do. So, those of you that bought the lifetime license to it, you are bound to it because you have that. I don't blame you. It's not a bad platform, really. It's not. I'm not putting this stuff on it, but it's not a bad platform. Okay, for anybody that's coming on YouTube right now, if you are just getting on YouTube and you have not taken a free trial, go ahead to mytradingiq.com. Click on that right there. There's no credit card required for the trial. Just click on that. It'll bring you to the registration page. Just fill it out. Okay, that's all you need to do. Now, we need on the NQ just an up close over there. Would be a long trade on the NQ. And we don't have a trade here. We don't have a trade here. We don't have a trade here. So the NQ is the only thing we have right now that's about to give us a trade. And it's just about there. Just looking for the up close on that. Okay. Again, that NinjaTrader stuff was in the Telegram channel. Our that up close right there on the NQ. Right there. I think that's good enough, isn't it? It's right there. It's right at the line. And you can take it or you can let it go. I think I'm going to take it here. And then just went to +4 and out with +4. Yeah, again, that was right here in this NinjaTrader 8 discussion group. Right, the NinjaTrader 8 discussion group. I'm pretty sure that is open to anybody that wants to get into it and download those things. Take a look at it. All right. You use it at your own risk. There are no guarantees about anything on that. Fills or anything, as a matter of fact. I should probably say, I don't recommend using it for a live account or something like that, just to cover my butt. But, all right. So we got 4 ticks there on the NQ. Let's put that in the recap result thing. Okay, here it is. Let's try it. That is going to be right here. Today is 33. 3. And we have 4 ticks there. And over here we have 1, 0. We have a bunch of minutes today too. We have, let's just say we had 20. No, we'll say we're starting to trade right now. We'll say 18 minutes today. 18 minutes. Okay, we'll see how many trades we end up with. Should be good though. We should have, this will be 33 now. Right, and this, I still haven't figured that formula out yet. This should be 18, I think. Okay, should be that divided by the total number of days that I have minutes on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22. That's what it should be. I guess this isn't the number. Go back to 18 on that. That seems about right. This is that divided by Z 5439. U 5422. It should be 5446. Oh, it's the sum of it. 54.22 down to 54.37. Yeah, that should be down to 54.45, 54.46. Maybe it's this, just this down to here. So that's what it should be. That's the number we're looking for. And this should now be 22, I think. That's it. All right. I will create a formula that does that, so I don't have to go through it manually every time. All right, so we need a down close over there on the NQ. Now that's a little bit high. It's not right on the midband, but it's right next to it. So I took it, it just actually bumped me to break even plus 4. I'm gonna lock in another 4 on that. So we have 8 there. 16, 12, sorry, 12. 12 on that guy. And right there, let me put that. This ends up being 16. And this is a 2. Okay. Let's get back in here, see if we can take some more trades. That was a trade there on gold. I didn't get. This was not a trade. This was not a trade. This was a trade, and we don't have anything on the NQ right now. Okay. All right, we need an up close here on the gold right now. Up close on the gold. This is not a trade over there. There it is on the gold, and it just gave me 1 tick, I think. Let me go see what it actually gave me. I'm sorry, I didn't bring it over. It happened really fast. It did give me 1 tick. I will show you that. Here it is, right here. Bought 2.6, sold 2.7. Close that one. And 1 gold, I think that's gold. Okay, and we'll come back in here now. We're flipping the YDR over here on the NQ. We didn't have a trade here. We didn't have a trade here. We don't have another trade here yet. I don't see any questions coming in. And we have 12 minutes left. 12 minutes. Okay, we don't have anything there, or there right now. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Anybody? Questions about anything? This right here is another one on gold. Come on, man. It is another one on gold. Here it is. It was taking forever to fill me there. That's why it's, come on, man. I gave it the old, come on, man. Now it needs to go 5 ticks into profit to pump my stop to break even. Plus a tick. These are just about to set up trades. All 3 of these are just about to set up trades right now. The swing high on this is 84.1 right there. It does have a number right there at 84, so it's probably going to get up there. Might stop me out right now. It did stop me out. Okay, put that one in. This is now minus 14. That becomes 4. That becomes one. All right, so none of these trades ended up happening. Everything just went down all at the same time right there. Okay, and flip the YBR here. We're going to flip the YBR here. We didn't quite do it on the gold, and we didn't quite do it on the ES, but both the YM and the gold, the NQ are both looking for shorts now. Okay, the NQ is obviously closer. Actually, it's not. They're both about the same place. Okay, so the NQ just needs a down close right here. It's down close. The YM just needs a down close. They both just need down closes to trade. Okay, and they're almost there. The gold does not have a long trade. The S does not have a long trade. It still not have a long trade.
After the earnings report yesterday, Intel's down 17%.
Yeah, in the pre-market it was down 10% or something like that.
Yeah, the earnings were fine. It was the forward guidance that spooked the markets, I think.
You wouldn't think that would be the spot they're in right now. You wouldn't think. All right, so neither of these ended up giving us a trade. I was looking for the down close there and the down close there, and neither one actually gave us a trade. Let's see on the gold. It's nothing there, nothing there. And on the gold right now, we need a pullback down here. That last stop out on the gold put us negative on the session so far. We're minus 600. So we stopped out on the gold. But we have time to get that back. We have 8 minutes left. We have another 10 trades here in these 8 minutes. Or 8 trades anyway. We'll see what we get. I really thought we were going to get short trades there a minute ago. On this guy here and this guy over here. Neither one happened. The gold's got a potential trade here on the long side right now. It's too far away. It's too far away. It's not going to happen on the gold. The NQ could still give a short. The YM could still give a short. They both need up closes followed by down closes right now. The NQ and the YM. They're both pretty close to the YBR though. Right, the NQ is closer right now. Just needs a down close. It's gotten into the overbought. The gold just flipped the YBR down. There's the NQ short right there. Okay. So put that on. It did, and we'll see where that goes. Window always on top. And we'll see where it goes. Everything else is looking like it wants to go down right here. Now, I don't recall. Looks like it's going to hit us. Almost. So close. Okay, it did just stop us up. All right, I'll move that over and get ready on the gold for a short. Okay, get ready for a short over there on the gold. We put the ninja in. We need an up close followed by down close on the YM. Let's go put the ninja, not the ninja. That was minus 9 on that. That's a 5. That's a 2. Okay. This is not our typical day trading in the afternoon session. Not yet, anyway. The NQ is actually an up close here on the NQ will be a long trade right now. It's in some pretty good chop right in here. The gold is just about to give a short. The YM never did put the short together. The gold just did, and it just gave me one tick. I think I'll read over and show it to you in a second. The NQ, we're still looking for that up close. Okay, and there that is. Let me go check out the gold and make sure I got that one tick on that. Down to the bottom. I actually got 5 ticks on my last gold trade. I'll show you. And I'm in the same Q trade too. The NQ just went to +4. It's 12 right there. And we're still in it. Hanging in there. Oh, wow. Okay, it just gave us all 45. We needed that on the NQ. Okay, so we got 45 on the NQ, and the last gold trade that I took over here, I think, it was right here. I'll show you that one in a second too. We got 5 ticks on that. And we just got 45 on this one right here. Okay, I was going to show you the gold thing. Hang on. It was a gold 5 ticks. And I'd say 45 on the NQ. I don't know if that's what it actually gave us. Yes, it did. Hank. Yeah, it did. Okay, sorry. 51 to 62.75. That's 11. I think it's more than that, actually. It's more than 45, but we'll just call it 45. So let's put these in. We got 5 on this. That puts us at -9 on that one. And we got 45 on this, so that puts us at +36 on that one. So we're back in the green, and we add 2 more trades on the plus side here. So we're up to 71% now. Okay. This is again a trade here on the NQ. My stop is at +4. Here it is. And then my stop is going to go to +8, 12. It's 12 more. That was a horrible fill. There was a trade here on the YM I didn't get. It's 12 more on this. That makes that 48. And this guy over here, 8. Right, now we're up to 75% of our trades, break-even or better. Not a trade there, not a trade here yet. The YM could be a trade, the NQ not. Right now, the NQ needs a down close followed by an up close. YM needs down close followed by an up close. Gold needs to go the full cycle. Okay, there's the down close, but it didn't put it in the oversold, so this is kind of messed up the way NQ is coming together. And the S really has nothing. That didn't turn out to be a trade. The gold didn't finish the cycle here, so this is not going to be a trade on the gold on the up close. And okay, so on the NQ, we need a down close followed by an up close. Pretty much immediate up close right here. On the NQ will be another trade. On the YM, we need a down close followed by an up close. On the gold, we need 2 up closes followed by a down close. So we're looking for an up close here, down close here, down close here. Right now, the NQ, I believe, is too far away. It is too far away. Oh, wow, it's time, guys. I didn't realize what time it was. Get all wrapped up in this. As soon as the action starts, and I kind of lose track of the minutes. I know that things are starting moving around pretty good. What I wanted to look at here was, let's go out here to the larger time frame and multiple things for just a minute. This guy is in the green. We are still in the green on the day on the ES, but we're still on an inside day right now. The SPY is still in the green. So everything right now is still in the green. I think we're going to end the day in the green, probably just a little bit, unless something good happens. That will be a really rally at the end of it all. The YM needs an up close right here, but I got a couple of minutes. That's awful. I don't know that Dwayne has a couple of minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up. This is how we're going to end it for this session. On the NQ, we're going to end with 48 ticks. On the gold, -9. 8 trades overall with 2 stop outs. Put us at 18 minutes of trading. 75% of our trades were break even or better, and it puts us at $1,500 on the session with 10 contracts. 150, which is the goal for the day. Better than the goal for the day with 1 contract. So that now brings our average in this session. We're averaging just about 15 minutes in this session, and 15 minutes per session, and we're averaging the goal for the day, a little better than the goal for the day in that 15-minute span. So if you're not able to get into the morning stuff, the afternoon stuff still gets the job done. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button, no credit card required for the trial. Click the purple button, it's going to bring you to the registration page. Just fill it out. Get the trial now, you have it all weekend and all over next week. All right, and that is it. With that, I can pass it back on to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne is ready.
Yep. Recap of the morning session.
Today it took 7 minutes and 5 trades to get to $1,800 with 10 contracts, or $180 with 1.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, we've covered all the markets in granular fashion with the exception of silver, which is right here. And we're above the highest weekly trading zone. High of the session has been 101.68. And we'll take one last look at the ES daily. Okay, we still got that little green body. We could rally into the close, but it seems more likely to me that I just don't know how comfortable institutional traders are going to be taking home these open positions over the weekend, but we're going to find out at 4 p.m. Eastern today how this market closes. And how it closes, of course, will be important for the open Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to join us. To become a member, email Valerie, support@cfrn.net. Let her know you want to become a member. She'll send you all the information you need to get signed up. Once you become a member, you get 2 hours of live training every trading day. On top of the 2 hours of live training each day, you get private one-on-one mentoring. No extra charge. All you got to do is ask. The strategy you learn, the indicators that you use as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Stocks, futures, crypto, Forex, ETFs. Doesn't matter. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. From support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. It's just how markets work. As a passport holder, you'll get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. That helps you learn how to read the chart. You get the concierge trade alerts, typically 5 minutes ahead of the Globex Open each evening. Every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you get the weekly trading zones. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. And every Thursday night, you're able to attend the members-only workshop at 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus, you get the golden keys that open all the private channels in Telegram. And there's quite a few. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. Just email Valerie, support@cfrn.net. Let's wrap this week up with our good word for the day. Love and serve others. Galatians 5:13. through love, serve one another. In 1881, shortly after Booker T. Washington became head of the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama that trained school teachers, he was walking past the house of a wealthy family. Assuming that Washington was one of the yard workers her husband had hired, the woman of the house asked him if he would chop some wood for her. Professor Washington smiled, nodded, took off his coat, and chopped the wood. When he carried the armload of wood into the woman's kitchen, a servant girl recognized him and rushed to her mistress to tell her of his identity. The next morning, the woman appeared in Washington's office. Apologizing profusely, she said repeatedly, "I did not know it was you I put to work." Washington replied with generosity, "It's entirely all right, madam. I like to work, and I'm delighted to do favors for my friends." The woman was so taken with his manner and his willingness to forgive that she gave generous gifts to the Institute. She also persuaded many of her wealthy friends and acquaintances to do likewise. In the end, Washington raised as much money for the Institute from his one act of chopping wood as he did from many other fundraising events combined. The Bible says, "Through love, serve one another. For all the law is fulfilled in one word. Even in this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself." So what can we learn from Booker T. Washington today? 2 things. Number 1, every seed of kindness you sow brings an eventual harvest of blessing into your life. And number 2, the way to get ahead in life is to love and to serve others, like Jesus did. And that's our good word for today and for the week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.